Hello, this is One God Ministries, and today we're going to discuss Cain's original sin. Now, you may be wondering, what is Cain's original sin? Was it killing Abel, or was it something else even before that? So, let's look into the Bible. Our key text can be found in Genesis 4, verse 6. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. Its desire is to have you, but you must master it." So this is a hint of what Cain's original sin is. It is actually anger. So the Lord was telling Cain that sin is crouching at your door. Okay, so it is almost as if God can sense what the evil that was inside Cain, and God knows the outcome, of course, that it will lead to the murder of Abel. And he already warned Cain about that anger. That anger's desire is to conquer Cain. And he advised the way out of this. He said, "You must master it." It meaning anger. Okay, so let's continue with the narrative. For those who do not know the story, you can read Genesis 4, verse 2. And it is about the birth of Abel and Cain. Okay, the two children of Adam and Eve. So Eve gave birth to his brother Abel. Now Abel kept flocks and Cain worked the soil. In the course of time, Cain brought some of the fruit of the soil as an offering to the Lord, but Abel brought the portions from some of the firstborn of his flock. And as the narrative shows, the Lord looked with favor of Abel and his offering. And the reason for this is that those offering of Abel was actually a shadow of the coming offering of Jesus Christ, as an atonement for the sin of people. I continue with verse 5. But on Cain and his offering he did not look with favor. So Cain was very angry and his face was downcast. And this is where the key text comes in. "Why are you angry?" said the Lord to Cain, "and your face is downcast." Okay, so God was already warning Cain that sin is crouching at the door, and this particular sin is, of course, Cain's anger, brought about by the Lord rejecting his offering. Now Cain said to his brother Abel, "Let's go out to the field." And while they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Where is your brother Abel?" "I don't know," he replied. "Am I my brother's keeper?" The Lord said, "What have you done? Listen, your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." If you want to take a deeper look at this, we can look at the book of Joshua. Even though the book of Joshua is not found in the Bible, portions of it is quoted in the Bible, and it is held in high esteem by the people of God, by the Israelites. So let's look at the book of Joshua. And in Joshua 1 it is stated, but And some time after, Cain and Abel, his brother, went one day in the field to do their work. And they were both in the field, Cain tilling and plowing his ground, and Abel feeding his flock. And the flock passed that part which Cain had plowed in the ground, and it sorely grieved Cain on this account. Okay, so this shows us that there might be something else why there was an argument between Cain and Abel. So Cain approached his brother Abel in anger and said to him, "What is there between me and thee, that thou comest to dwell and bring thy flock to feed in my land?" And Abel answered his brother Cain and said unto him, "What is there between me and thee?" Okay? "What, that thou shalt eat the flesh of my flock, and clothe thyself with their wool. And now therefore put off the wool of my sheep, which thou hast clothed thyself, and recompense. And now if thou slay me here, surely God knoweth my secret views, and will judge thee for the evil which thou didst declare to me this day." And when Cain heard these words which Abel his brother had spoken, behold, the anger of Cain was kindled against his brother Abel for declaring this thing. So Cain and Abel had an argument. Okay, so I hope it becomes clear that because the flock of Abel transpassed the field of Cain. And Cain hastened and rose up and took the iron part of his plowing instrument, which he suddenly smote his brother, and he slew him. And Cain spilt the blood of his brother Abel upon the earth, and the blood of Abel steamed upon the earth before the flock. And after this Cain repented, having slain his brother, and he was sadly grieved, and wept over him, and it vexed him exceedingly. Now it becomes clear why Cain really killed Abel. It was not simply out of jealousy or a premeditated killing. It was a spur of the moment thing because of the argument between Cain and Abel. I continue, and Cain rose up and dug a hole in the field when he put his brother's body, and he turned the dust over it. And the Lord knew that Cain had done this to his brother, and the Lord appeared to Cain and said unto thee, Where is Abel thy brother that was with thee? Now let's think. Where else in the Bible did God reprimand a holy man who was erring because of uncontrolled anger? We can find that in Jonah 4 verse 1. And if you want to read the book of Jonah, you can read it in its entirety to know the whole picture. So in verse 1 it says, Jonas was greatly displeased and became angry. He prayed to the Lord, O Lord, is this not what I said when I was still at home? This is why I was so quick to flee to Tarshish. I knew that you are so gracious and a compassionate God, slow to anger and abounding in love, a God who relents from sending calamity. Now, O Lord, take away my life, for it is better for me to die than to live. So there was anger in the heart of Jonah, because the Lord did not push through with his plan to destroy the Assyrians. Okay, so I continue. The Lord replied, Have you any right to be angry? Jonah went out and sat down at the place east of the city. There he made himself a shelter, sat in its shade, and waited to see what would happen in the city. Then the Lord God provided a vine and made it grow up over Jonah to give shade for his head to ease his discomfort. And Jonah was very happy about the vine. But at dawn the next day God provided a worm which chewed the vine so that it withered. When the sun rose, God provided a scorching east wind, and the sun blazed on Jonah's head, so that he grew faint. He wanted to die and said, "It would be better for me to die than to live." But God said to Jonah, "Do you have a right to be angry about the vine?" "I do," he said. "I am angry enough to die." But the Lord said, "You have been concerned about the vine, though you did not tend it or make it grow. It sprang up overnight and died overnight. But Nineveh has more than 120,000 people who cannot tell their right hand from their left, and many cattle as well. Should I not be concerned about that great city?" So let us think. What is it in anger that makes it so unrighteous? In Matthew 5, Jesus Christ stated in verse 21, "You have heard it was said to the people long ago, 'Do not murder, and anyone who murders will be subject to judgment.' But I tell you that anyone who is angry with his brother will be subject to judgment. Again, if anyone who says to his brother, 'Raka,' is answerable to the Sanhedrin, but anyone who says, 'You fool,' will be in danger of the fire of hell." So you see, when someone is angry with his brother, he says so many curse words. In Proverbs 14, verse 17, it is stated, "A quick-tempered man does foolish things, and a crafty man is hated." So someone who is quick-tempered, that easily gets angry, does a lot of foolish things. In Proverbs 29, verse 22, "An angry man stirs up dissension, and a hot-tempered man commits many sins." So if a man is easily angered, a hot-tempered man, he is prone to commit so much sin. And so you can now understand why God was warning Abel in our key text that he should control anger, because God knew the potential of the evil things he can do because of that anger, and God foresaw that he would commit murder because of that uncontrolled anger. Proverbs 19, verse 19, "A hot-tempered man must pay the penalty. If you rescue him, you will have to do it again." So what the Lord is saying is this: time and time again, not unless a man begins to control his anger, you know, he will get into trouble again and again. In James 1, verse 19, we are counseled by the Apostle James, "My brothers, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, for man's anger does not bring about the righteous life that God desires." So everyone should be slow, not quick, to become angry, because anger really brings unrighteousness. So man should be slow to speak, that is, he should think about what he should say, and slow to become angry, to avoid committing sins. Ephesians 4, verse 26, the Apostle Paul advises us, "In your anger do not sin, do not let the sun go down while you are still angry, and do not give the devil a foothold," meaning that we should not anger linger on to form bitterness, because that would be opening ourselves into a foothold, that is, even to be possessed by the devil. And now there are solutions to the anger problem. In Proverbs 12, verse 16, it is stated, "A fool shows his annoyance at once, but a prudent man overlooks an insult." So a fool is easily annoyed, easily angered, but a wise man overlooks an insult. He doesn't get angered easily. In Ephesians 4, verse 26, the Apostle Paul tells us, "In your anger do not sin, do not let the sun go down. You are still angry and do not give the devil a foothold." That is the same thing. Your anger should not linger for a long time. Otherwise, the devil will have a full foothold on you and you will be prone to commit a lot of sins. You are under the control already of the devil if you are always angry. In Matthew 5, verse 38, Jesus Christ said, "You heard that it was said, eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth." I believe this is Matthew 3. "But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If someone strikes you on the right cheek, turn to him the other also. And if anyone wants to sue you and take your tunic, let him have your cloak as well. If someone forces you to go 1 mile, go with him 2 miles." Okay? I hope you correct this. This is Matthew 3. In Proverbs 15, verse 1, "A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. The tongue of the wise commends knowledge, but the mouth of the fool gushes folly." So, if you want to avoid anger, when you answer, try to answer in a gentle way, not using harsh words. In 1 Corinthians 6, verse 6, it's stated, "But instead one brother goes to law against another, and this in front of unbelievers. The very fact that you have lawsuits among you means you have been completely defeated already. Why not rather be wrong? Why not rather be cheated? Instead, you yourselves cheat and do wrong, and you this to your brother." So the Apostle Paul was saying, it's not a bad thing to be wrong and then you not suing your brother, trying to get vengeance. In Ephesians 4, verse 31, the Apostle Paul counsels us to get rid of all bitterness, rage and anger, brawling, and slander, along with every form of malice. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. So, what the Apostle Paul was telling us in here, bitterness is actually a prolonged type of anger, and brawling is actually fighting or fighting using angry and loud words. Okay, so you see the problem with anger. It does not bring about the righteousness God so desires in us, but gives us an opening for the devil to control us. So this is One God Ministries. I have explained what the real problem with Cain was, and I hope you learned something about avoiding the original problem with Cain, and that is anger. So, if you have any questions, you can type jim.eagle3202@gmail.com. If you want to watch other videos, you can go to our channel. Simply type One God Ministries and look for the topic applicable to you. Until next time, this is Jim Eagle.